You can own a diamond. You can own a watch. But you can never own the box it comes in. What is a company's most valuable asset? Is it the product it makes? The stores it builds? What if it's none of those things? What if the most powerful, protected, and profitable asset a company has is a color? Because there is a specific shade of blue so valuable, it has been trademarked. Not a logo. Not a name. A color. A color that can make your heart beat faster from across a room, even before you know what's inside the box. For over 180 years, Tiffany Company has been a titan of the luxury world. It's a name synonymous with dazzling diamonds, exquisite craftsmanship, and timeless elegance. Point 1. But when you think of Tiffany's, your mind doesn't just conjure an image of a necklace or a ring. It conjures something far more powerful, a small, perfect box, in a shade of robin's egg blue, tied with a single white satin ribbon. This packaging isn't just a container. It's a cultural icon. It represents a promise of beauty, romance, and status. The box itself has become an object of desire, sometimes even more so than the jewelry it holds. How is this possible? How did a simple piece of cardboard and a specific die become one of the most brilliant and defensible branding strategies in history? How did Tiffany & Company manage to weaponize a color and build a global empire around a box? That's the question we're answering today. To understand the power of the blue box, we have to go back to the beginning. To a founder who was less a jeweler and more a master of marketing. Charles Louis Tiffany opened his store in New York City in 1837. At the time, America's wealthy elite looked to European aristocracy for cues on luxury and taste. Tiffany's genius was to create a distinctly American brand that felt just as prestigious. He was a natural showman. He was the first to publish a direct mail catalog in the United States, which he called the Blue Book. Beginning in 1845, this catalog showcased his finest jewels. And its cover was a striking shade of blue. The color choice was a strategic masterstroke. In the mid-19th century, turquoise was immensely popular in Victorian high society. Point 3. It was a fashionable stone for brides, who would often give their attendants a brooch of turquoise as a memento point, for the color was already associated with romance, luxury, and special occasions. Charles Tiffany simply captured that feeling and made it his own. He chose a specific shade, a light, vibrant robin's egg blue, for his catalog, his signage, and eventually, his boxes. But the true genius wasn't just in choosing the color. It was in creating scarcity for the packaging itself. He established a rule that would become company law: the Tiffany Blue Box could never be acquired without a Tiffany purchase. It could not be bought. It could not be given away empty. As a 1906 report in the New York Sun noted, there was one thing Mr. Tiffany possessed that he would not sell for any amount of money: his box. This simple rule transformed the box from a mere container into a trophy. It became the evidence of a significant purchase. The box itself was the symbol. To receive one meant you had acquired something of immense value, not just monetarily, but emotionally. He wasn't selling a box, he was selling the feeling of being special. By the 20th century, Tiffany's was a cultural phenomenon. The 1961 film Breakfast at Tiffany's immortalized the brand, cementing its status as the ultimate symbol of aspiration and elegance. Point 5. But with this level of fame comes a serious problem: imitation. When a brand element is that successful, competitors will inevitably try to copy it. The world is full of colors. But Tiffany's blue had become more than a color, it was an identity. And they needed to protect it. So, how do you legally own something as abstract as a color? Tiffany Company embarked on a deliberate and groundbreaking legal strategy to build a fortress around their most valuable asset. First, they standardized it. In 2001, Tiffany partnered with the global color authority, Pantone, to create a custom color standard. Point 6. This color was officially named 1837 blue, a nod to the year of Tiffany's founding. Point 7. This is not a color you can find in a standard Pantone swatchbook. It is a private, custom formula. Its identity is controlled. Second, and most importantly, they trademarked it. In 1998, Tiffany Company achieved what is incredibly difficult in the world of intellectual property. They successfully registered their signature blue as a color trademark. Point 8. To get a color trademark, a company has to prove that the color has achieved secondary meaning. This means the color has become so intrinsically linked with the brand in the public's mind that it no longer serves as just a color, but as an identifier for the company itself. After more than a century of consistent use, Tiffany's had overwhelming evidence. This legal protection is a powerful weapon. It prevents any other jewelry company, or in many cases any other luxury goods company, from using that specific shade of blue on their boxes, bags, or in their advertising. Point 9. They literally, legally, own their blue. So, Tiffany chose the color and legally protected it. But none of that would matter if the color didn't have a profound psychological effect on us. Why does 1837 blue work so well? The answer lies in a combination of emotional association and masterful conditioning. First, the psychology of the color itself. Light, aquatic blues like Tiffany's are associated with positive, aspirational feelings. They evoke tranquility, trust, and open skies. Unlike a fiery red or a regal purple, this blue is calming and accessible, yet vibrant. It suggests elegance and sophistication, not aggressive, loud luxury. It is the color of a pleasant dream. Second, relentless consistency. For more than 150 years, Tiffany's has never wavered. Every bag, every box, every advertisement, every digital touchpoint reinforces the same visual message. This decades-long consistency acts as a form of classical conditioning. We have been trained, over generations, to associate that specific color with a feeling of excitement and luxury. Seeing the color triggers a lifetime of accumulated cultural meaning. Finally, this all culminates in the ritual of the unboxing. A Tiffany box is not meant to be torn open. The experience is a ceremony. The weight of the box, the texture of the paper, the untying of the perfect white ribbon. This slow, deliberate process builds anticipation. It makes the object inside feel more precious. The packaging isn't just a covering, it's the first act of a play. It elevates the entire experience from a simple transaction to a cherished memory. The box isn't just packaging. It's part of the product. So let's connect the dots. Charles Tiffany's choice of a popular Victorian color was clever. His strict rule to never sell the box on its own was a stroke of marketing genius. And the modern company's legal strategy to standardize and trademark that color was brilliantly ruthless. And that's the secret. The Tiffany strategy is a masterclass in understanding that in the world of luxury, you are not selling a physical object. You are selling an intangible feeling. What Tiffany's did was decouple that feeling from the jewelry itself and attach it to the packaging. The blue box became the tangible, physical vessel for the abstract promise of romance, status, and happiness. The box is the brand, made manifest. The color is the trigger. The diamond ring inside is simply the justification for acquiring the box. They created a world where the symbol of the prize became as valuable as the prize itself. If this insight is making you see that little blue box in a whole new light, show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing. It lets us keep unlocking these iconic strategies. The brilliance of this strategy is that it created a competitive advantage that is almost impossible to replicate. Another company can mine better diamonds or hire a more famous designer. But they cannot use that color. They cannot replicate the century of emotional equity built into the Tiffany blue box. It is a permanent, legally protected moat built entirely on perception and psychology. The broader business principle here is the power of sensory branding. The most dominant brands in the world don't just sell you a product, they create a multi-sensory experience. Think of the unique click of a Zippo lighter, the specific smell of a new Apple device, or the engineered roar of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle engine. These are sensory signatures. Tiffany's captured sight. They took a color and made it theirs. The lesson is that the most powerful brand assets are often the ones that bypass our rational minds and appeal directly to our senses and emotions. If you learned something new, hit the like button and subscribe for more strategy breakdowns. And let us know in the comments, what company's strategy should we unlock next?